I'm meteorologist Matt Lomhan alongside meteorologist Joel Young, John DeLusick, and a number of members of the North Mississippi Storm Chasers and Spotters. We are just outside the realm of a couple of tornado warnings, but because they'll quickly move through some sections, especially the western part of the WTVA viewing area, we wanted to, at the very least, come on, kind of establish what is going on so that we can clear some things up. First off, we have 2 tornado watch boxes that are in effect. One, in effect, that does include most locations north and west of the Natchez Trace Parkway. It does not include Lee or Prentiss or Tishmingo or Chickasaw or Chickasaw counties, but it does include all locations back to the west of that, and then another tornado watch box that includes the Golden Triangle southward. As you can see on here on Storm Track Doppler radar, we have a number of tornado warnings just back to our west. These thunderstorms in some cases have a substantial history of producing not just wind damage but also tornado damage. In particular, if I put on our tornado storm reports, the storm that moved, and it only comes up with that one report there, but we've had more than that report of damage. In particular, south of Clarksdale, reports of an airport hangar, and I'm going to bring in our meteorologist Joel Young for a moment here to double check that. Go ahead and give me that information for that report one more time.
Yeah, my brother was actually a mile north of where the tornado crossed Highway 49 south of Clarksdale, and he's actually out there right now assessing the damage. I've been tweeting out some pictures he's sending me right now, but apparently someone he was actually with who owns some of the crop dusters out there at the airport, apparently he reported that 6 planes were a total loss and a hangar is gone. So that's the reports we're getting right now, and that same tornado is on the ground now, heading towards it's north of Batesville.
Okay, so you've tweeted those pictures here. Okay,
I just tweeted one, and I'm trying to get some more.
Okay, I think I have that picture on screen, so folks at home can end up seeing that. It's kind of a little ways away, but you can kind of see in the background there. I mean, that's definitely some tornado damage. We're looking Clarksdale, not WTVA viewing area at this moment. Clarksdale, what we're looking at, and the reason we're on is because this tornado described as considerable and damaging. I jumped in, Joel. Go ahead. Were you finished with the report?
Well, yeah, he's sending some more pictures, or he's in the process of getting more pictures.
Okay, thank you. So on top of that, we're hearing now from Mississippi Highway Patrol that they're trying to close down Interstate 55 near the Sardis area. They're trying to basically get in front of it and close it down because the report has been considerable damage on what is a large and damaging tornado that will soon clip northern and western portions of Lafayette County as it continues to track in the direction also of Holly Springs and Hickory Flats. We're watching that. So let's talk a little bit about this situation. This is fringe for the WTVA viewing area, so we don't have a ton of viewers, but we do have some dedicated viewers that watch us. And you can see what is strong rotation at this point, estimated, as you can see, about 35, 40 miles per hour one direction. Let's get the storm relative velocity, which gives us both directions, allows us to see the rotation on it. And 69 to 70 miles per hour, still fairly strong, not as strong as it was, but still probably, according to our discussion with the Weather Service, still a tornado on the ground. Described, in fact, as, and that is the same storm there, right, we're looking at, Joel? Described the report that just came through the Weather Service there from the emergency manager near Ballantyne.
Yeah, it says that massive tornado is still on the ground, just crossed in front of me on Sexton Road, south of Highway 315 near Ballantyne. So that's probably northern Panola County.
Okay, so that's that thunderstorm there. So the word massive used to describe this tornado. That's typically we wouldn't necessarily be cutting in this far west, but when we're talking about a tornado this significant, we want to make sure we advise as many folks as possible. So moving at a speed in the neighborhood of about, and I think we'd all agree, about 55 to 60 miles an hour. Would you agree?
Somewhere in there, probably about, the last I heard was 55.
Okay, I'm going to go 60 just to give some extra heads up, and I'm going to do a wider track than I might typically.
60 miles per hour and moving northeast.
Okay, so there we go, moving northeast, 60. Let's get a storm track on that. And it's just barely going to clip the sections of Lafayette County there, but there are more back to the west we're going to watch. And you can see there, Sardis pretty much right now. Techville area about 18 minutes, Spraggins in about 29 minutes. Holly Springs, if you know some folks out there, we're looking at just about a half hour. This is a storm considered to be a tornado on the ground, considerable in size, with significant damage that it has produced to this point. And just one more weather picture that I think just tells an incredible story from this. And John actually retweeted this a few minutes ago, but I mean, this is a stout tornado, reported violent near the Marks area. We have a storm spotter with North Mississippi storm chasers and spotters that was near that location, and definitely a significant tornado touchdown there. So this is the one we're tracking right now, and this is the reason we're on maybe a little farther than we typically would be away from the heart of the viewing area. Going southward, though, we do have other thunderstorms continuing to strengthen, prompting tornado warnings. The description on this thunderstorm, a tornado warning in effect, as you can see, until 4:30, again, just west of the viewing area. The description on this thunderstorm to this point is that this thunderstorm has radar indicated rotation, quarter-size hail, but at this point can't confirm tornado touchdown on this one. The reason this is more important is these thunderstorms would have more of a tent, both of them showing signs of rotation, to eventually try to move toward Water Valley, toward Oxford, and some other locations truly in the WTVA viewing area. So let's go ahead and we'll kick this back to the precipitation mode. And let's track these ahead a little farther, also assuming that storm speed about 60 miles per hour. These aren't as well developed as that initial thunderstorm there. And so if that one held together, it'd be a close call for Batesville, heading more directly toward Oxford. Let's just double check that motion a little bit. Yep, still have it toward Oxford. We'll be talking about 48 minutes for this thunderstorm. Now that doesn't mean 48 minutes till you're under tornado warning. We expect this northern one here might clip a tornado warning for the northern part of the county, but that wouldn't necessarily include Oxford proper. This one, this southern one, if it holds together, the first of a couple that we're tracking, 48 minutes for you there in Oxford, 42 minutes for the Taylor community in Batesville, just under a half an hour, about 24, 23 minutes or so. As we walk down this line back to the south and west, there continue to be strong to severe thunderstorms that extend all the way back to north of Greenville. We've talked a lot about this on social media within the last few hours. There's a tongue of moisture that just continues to kind of push northward here toward Greenville. See that 67-degree dew point there? That's actually down just a little bit from what it was, up around 70. But that moisture is right at the edge of this development. If I put on the radar image once again, this moisture is feeding directly into these thunderstorms, and that's the reason why we do have these locations back from Greenville to Memphis and then basically east to about the Natchez Trace Parkway under that risk, what we call a considerable risk for damaging tornadoes in this area here where you can see that highlighted there, those hatches, this higher risk zone there, obviously one that we're very, very concerned with, that tornado risk. Okay, new tornado warning now, including Lafayette County, and this is the reason we came on a little earlier to be prepared for this warning coming out. Tornado warning issued now for Lafayette County, in effect until 4:45 p.m. The description continues to be the same. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located over Como, or about 8 miles northwest of John W. Kyle State Park, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. Now you notice we had that discussion about the 50 mile per hour, the 55 mile per hour movement. We're now up to 65 miles per hour. That's more than a mile per minute. That's extremely fast, and that's an important thing to note because that fast motion means if you're driving or you're thinking of driving, you might have a difficult time getting out of the way of it. Now, first thing I want to say about this warning, in effect, as we mentioned just a moment ago, until 4:45 p.m., so right now it's highlighting the warning farther back. There's the right time on there. That is the part of the thunderstorm, just north of Sardis, where we have a considerable tornado, a large tornado on the ground right now, moving toward the north and east. If you live in Oxford proper, you're still fine. This tornado is not going to make it to Oxford. So a lot of kids, I'm sure, home for Christmas break, so not as big a deal as if this happened during the heart of the fall or spring semesters. But nonetheless, if you're worried about some folks there in Oxford, you're in good shape. You're in the clear. If you are northwest, extreme northwest sections of Lafayette County, you are not in the clear. So let's talk about what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a tornado at this time perceived to be on the ground, confirmed and spotted by spotters in the field. So while Doppler radar definitely detects rotation, we definitely have a tornado on the ground at this moment. So what should you do? If you live in the northwest portion of Lafayette County, and I know we have some folks, we don't necessarily consider Holly Springs part of the core DMA here at WTVA, but we do have some viewers up there in Marshall County. If you're in this warning as well, I want you in a sturdy structure on the lowest floor, find a room in the middle. Sometimes that's going to be a closet, sometimes that's going to be a bathroom, sometimes it's going to be a hallway or a pantry, but it needs to be with as many walls between you and the outside as possible. The more walls you have, the more debris has to hit to get inside of your home. And so that's a bigger challenge. And so you want to be in the middle. We want the volume up on your TV so we can give you the all clear when that becomes pertinent information for you. We're still away from that, quite a ways away from that at this point and time. So let's go ahead and bring that back down. Let's look at the warning a little closer, and let's actually look at the wind mode here on Storm Track Doppler radar, see if we can continue to detect what is extremely strong rotation. Right there near Sardis, 102 mile per hour, what we call gate-to-gate shear. Extremely strong. This tornado definitely is strengthening once again. We'll check for debris using a mode on Storm Track Doppler radar that allows us to see that. While I don't imminently see a lot of debris on this, we're also looking a long ways from the thunderstorm, so that might be more difficult for us to detect at this point. Now, that lowered area there may probably be some debris near the Sardis area still on this, probably up in the thunderstorm from previous strikes. Absolutely, that's where it would be. And now what we have, see how it's curling around there? We call that a bounded weak echo region in the middle. It indicates a very strong rotation. We're still looking kind of high up in this thunderstorm, but certainly I'd put my tornado on the ground at this moment east of Como by no more than probably 2 miles. Let's go to the wind mode to confirm that location. And let's give some other locations and how far away it is there. Okay, so I mean, the location's confirmed. I don't think there's a lot of question of that. So for 128 miles per hour, strengthening once again, becoming very strong. This thunderstorm, and we do kind of a close track on this, let's update our speed to 65 miles per hour, move it toward the north and east, get a few other locations in here. And I don't know if it's going to quite catch Holly Springs on this track there, but you can see Loxahoma in 7 minutes, Aiken about 12 minutes, Rock Hill about 16 minutes and 21 minutes into the Mariana community there. Likely still a very strong tornado. Not just tornado, but a very strong tornado. And that's one of the issues we're concerned about with today. There's no guarantee we were going to get a lot of tornadoes, but there's a potential definitely with that we could get a strong one or two. I think we have some new information coming in on that storm there, just north of Sardis, Joel. I believe we're getting a little new information on.
Fire department has units on the ground following a tornado in between Highway 51 and I-55, so that would probably have it crossing 55 near Como, I believe,
yeah,
or near Sardis or Como. They're really close. So yeah, it would be crossing I-55. And didn't you say that traffic was
stopped on 55?
Stopped on I-55 southbound.
Okay. So that confirming what we're looking at there, it is substantial. So now just a little east of Como, moving toward the east-northeast. Let's just double check for our viewers in northern Lafayette County. Now, this might have taken, Joel, if you will take just a second here and come over to Weather 2 for a moment with me.
Okay.
Let's look at the movement of it the last couple scans.
Yeah.
It's almost a little more east. Am I wrong about that?
Go back one more time. Yeah.
Maybe not quite as much as it looked like.
Looks like it'd be crossing crossing I-55 at 310, but maybe a little bit. It's all. I mean, we'd have to look at another scan to be kind of.
Yeah, it may or may not be trying to turn just a little more east, but at this point, still likely a tornado, strong tornado on the ground. And there's some times there. I was hoping to get Holly Springs. I'm going to go wider so we can get that. We're going to disengage from this and talk about one of the other tornadoes that's getting a little bit closer, or potential tornadoes. This is definitely a tornado confirmed, and so that's why we're spending a little bit more time on it.